Welcome to D&D Builds, where usually we make all sorts of ridiculous characters, but today we're having a D&D session. I have some amazing patrons over on Patreon who help support this channel, and I want to thank most of them, especially my Dungeon Master level patrons, and today also a God tier level patron. I have them play sessions with me, I stream it on Twitch, and then I upload it later to YouTube. So if you have any interest in contributing to this channel or you want to play with us, feel free to check out Patreon, linked in the description down below. And if Patreon isn't really your thing, but you still want to support the channel in some other way, we have merch, also linked down below, where you can get t-shirts like "This is how I roll," showing that you roll 3 nat 20s in your next D&D session, or stuff for the channel, or saying intelligence is my dump stat, all that stuff. But now that that's out of the way, let me introduce who's playing today. We got 2 players, a God tier level patron and a Dungeon Master level patron. Our God tier level patron has had quite the journey so far, to say the least. He is playing as a female character who was a was an Aasimar sorcerer, and then got herself killed, and then was immediately was brought back to life as a reborn, but then also became a druid in that process, and then had the bright idea to drink some very strange ooze that immediately transformed them from a reborn into a plasmoid. So now they are just a bouncing ball of slime, and they can reshape themselves and whatever else, but Leviathan is still playing as a druid while being a plasmoid. The other player we have is our Dungeon Master level patron, and that is going to be our Wood Elf Ranger. The Wood Elf Ranger's name is Berg, and Berg is a Drake Warden, often summoning a Drake that can do lightning damage, and that Drake is named hers. So with those 2 hopping into our game today, we join them at the Adventurers Hall. At the Adventurers Hall, we have 3 quests available. I try and make sure that every one of these sessions is a bit more one-shot-esque, even though there's very overarching things that happen. And there are 3 quests available, so we have the ability to jump in without having anybody feel like they missed out on anything. There is 1 chain quest, and that is that the Ninja Turtles have been involved in past storylines, and they have saved multiple members of the Ninja Turtles, but they have found 1 more. The existing Ninja Turtles are requesting help with finding their brethren, but another quest up on the board is, let me make sure I have all of my facts straight, because there were a few. And I gotta scroll through a bunch. The second quest available is that no one has heard from a nearby town recently, despite messengers being sent. Investigate what's going on, as a recent group of adventurers just visited and it seemed fine. They left, but it has gone quiet for the past few days, almost as if that might have been tied to something else that has happened with the party and the people going through these campaigns. And then the third quest is that someone has been killing adventurers in the city. The local guard believes it to be a single culprit, but have not identified or captured them yet. They are seeking aid and in locating and possibly even dispatching this threat. The other thing that I want to make sure I mention just before I forget, as this intro is getting very long, is that every one of our quests involves some other form of pop culture, whether it's a character from a comic book or an anime or anything like that. And if a player is able to guess what it is, they get DM inspiration, as long as it's not blatantly revealed first. So with that, we are now at the Adventurers Guild. All of our members are just kind of hanging out, deciding what they want to do as far as a quest. And what would you like to do now that you're in the Adventurers Hall?
I feel like Berg would see Leviathan in there, and from his previous encounter with him, would go up to him and just want to reiterate about how well of a he dealt with all the graboids. or yeah, the graboids from the last time we adventured together.
Yes.
Try and just strike up a conversation with him.
As last time we saw Leviathan, she turned into a Quetzalcoatl and then summoned a bunch of badgers to attack boulettes, which were essentially the graboids from Tremors. And as you go up to Leviathan, who is hanging out at the bar as usual, Leviathan, what are you doing?
I think you may be muted.
I'm drinking.
Oh.
Yes.
I mean, do you do anything else at a bar?
I mean, this is more of like a general inn, so he does serve drinks, but he does also have plenty of food.
Yeah, I also get some food. Yeah, I get some food as well.
All right. Anything particular that you'd like? I know you usually get a bucket of alcohol and usually some sort of strong dwarven alcohol that you can just hop into and absorb. But is there any food that you like? He does tend to specialize in more meat.
Do you have a human?
He looks at you with a raised eyebrow and says, "Human? As in human meat?"
Yes.
He says, "I'm afraid I don't serve any of that kind of delicacy." And then he seems very perturbed by
All right,
the
I'll
question.
just have like a chicken.
He says, "Chicken I can do. Would you like it fried, grilled, steamed, or baked?"
I'll have a fried chicken.
Says, "Very well." And then he takes an entire chicken and you hear it squawking and he just grabs the head and rips it off. And then it's almost like magic as he like starts ripping off the feathers, and before you know it, it's just done. And then he guts it, takes out the entrails, and then throws the entire thing in a boiling pot of oil, and it immediately starts frying up.
Yeah, okay.
He is really good at his survival skills in cooking. So he said, "That'll be about 10 minutes. But in the meantime,
All right,
here you go." And he sets a bucket on the table and dumps in some dwarven alcohol.
Yeah, I just hop in the bucket and absorb it all.
Go ahead. And you make a Constitution saving throw, which you get to do at advantage being a plasmoid. Yeah. A 25, you can more than handle your alcohol. You soak it up like it's nothing. And you can understand the delicacies in like the finite way in which it was made. And you're like, oh, this was aged for 10 years.
Damn. Wait, how do you get alcohol that's 10 years old?
I mean, it's just how certain hard alcohols are brewed. They tend to be.
Yeah, right.
And Talon Starkey is telling me to poison the ale. I haven't gotten influenced into poisoning my characters quite yet, but I'm sure I will in the future.
It was so the badgers weren't the tipping straw. The straw that broke the camel's back.
No, badgers.
Do-
The badgers.
I mean, I do actually have plans to murder everyone in the party if you want notes.
You gave. You're giving out rings of power to everybody though, unless that's part of the plan.
And Talon Stark also says, "Check the fireplace. There might still be a leftover flask of ooze and the mutating ooze that you drank before. There might be something left over there." But
Won't that just make me bigger?
it might change you. It might do something else. Who knows? It's not like I have a specific plan for exactly what would happen if you drank it and a table to roll on for what would change or anything like that.
Wild magic table. Yeah.
There's a thing. I have a thing. So
Yeah, it's a thing.
Wait, did you spin that?
I did not.
Right, well, I drink the alcohol and I get some the bucket.
Okay.
I drink the alcohol and I wait for the chicken.
Okay. As you drink the alcohol and absorb it rather quickly, you can smell the delicious chicken, but it still takes a few minutes. And in the meantime, you are joined by Berg.
And once again, Berg will just commend him for, or her. What's your pronouns? Is it plasmoid?
It's
Them?
It.
Them?
It's just.
I don't know.
It is just an it at this point. Is
I would commend Leviathan.
Yeah.
There we go. On their actions with turning into a Quetzalcoatl and unleashing a horde of crap, I already forgot what they were.
Badgers.
Badger.
I just said it earlier too. Badgers onto the bullets or plasmoids, not graboids, and ask them if they're up for anything today.
I mean, it's kind of concerning that you're impressed by how good I am at, well, murder, but, yeah.
I mean,
Quest?
Berg's from the mountains. He's seen some shit.
Quest?
Yeah.
So
Right,
I
I
believe
wait
you
for my
discussed
turn.
before that you would like to do the quest where you're investigating the killings of adventurers in the city.
I believe so,
Yep.
yes.
All right. So the quest has been posted by the city guard, so you can check in with them if you'd like. But if there's any preparations you'd like to do other than absorbing the fried chicken, you are welcome to do any preparations that you'd like to.
Wait, so
I
who
would ask-
requested the actual quest itself?
The town guard is the one that posted the quest. So like the city guard, so you'd have to go like the local equivalent of a police station, which is the city guard.
Okay, to actually get, like, any information, that means we'll have to go there. We won't have to really prepare for quest beforehand.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you
I wait for the chicken, and I'll head over to the... Well, I'll see if Berg wants to do anything first.
yeah.
I go up to the barkeep. Go on.
Oh, I just want Leviathan to make an insight check.
That's concerning.
Yeah, you can very blatantly see that, like, as soon as you try to start absorbing the chicken, people are very much avoiding looking at you as they can see it dissolving in you. And it's, like, very disturbing to most people. It's like looking at a what is the cube of ooze or whatever.
I'm an oval.
But yeah, so Berg, what would you like to do?
I would go up to the tavern keep and order some food. I will look at him and ask him for all of his bacon.
All of his bacon? He looks at
All
you
of his
and
bacon. I
said,
know you.
For your pet dragon, I assume.
he looks at you and says, "Well, I do stock up quite a bit of bacon. Do you know what you're asking
No.
for, son?"
Now, see, you think I'm asking for a lot of bacon? No, all the bacon.
He looks and says, "I respect your tenacity." And you see him just like hauling out crates and crates of bacon. And he's just like, "You sure you want to take this path?"
How much does this cost?
That's the big question.
If you do ask him, he says, "Well, I do respect the effort. If you want all of this bacon, it will cost you about 20 gold."
I'll throw down 30. Just to be like respect of a man to a man.
He says,
Right.
Saying
He's
from one
willing.
bacon lover to another bacon lover.
He's
"Well,"
willing to give you all his bacon and go out of stock, so honestly. it seems-
he says, "Well, for 30 gold, I don't take tips, but I will contribute a bit more," as he starts loading cartons of eggs on top of it. And he says, I
connoisseur breakfast food.
he says, I will get to work." And then you hear he like puts his fingers in his mouth and lets out one of those like hardcore dad whistles where it just like projects throughout the entire inn. And then you see that the other like servers that are moving around the inn immediately pop up, and then he says, "We gotta get to work," and they all rush over and start immediately like carving stuff up and dishing it into the pans. And you even see one of them has like cast control flame and starts cooking it as they run out of burners, and they're just really trying to fry stuff up as fast as humanly possible.
So it's like one of those fancy Japanese restaurants.
Exactly. And then before you know it, it's almost as you see the chicken dissolving into Leviathan, it's like plates start piling in front of you, just loaded with bacon and a tiny bit of eggs, and loaded with bacon and then a tiny bit more eggs.
What I would look at the barkeep like, is it okay if I invite a friend in here?
He says, "As long as it's not any summoned undead, that tends to throw off my other patrons."
Okay, he's tame. And I'll whistle and get hers in there to come through the door gently, wings folded, to fit in. If Berg thinks that he would be able to fit into that in the tavern.
He would, and he being more of like a serpent style creature, having a drake, it can kind of like maneuver very well and almost slither through the crowd. And then you see the bartender look at you and he says, "Well, that's disappointing." And
then I will also go to town and try to out-eat my dragon.
He says,
Eating contest.
Yeah, he's like, "I respect trying to out-eat a dragon, but I thought this was all for you." And he like kind of throws down his smock and he's like, "What a letdown." And he like just kind of walks off, head slightly hanging.
You know what? I probably should have tried eating it myself first, and then if I couldn't, damn, missed opportunities.
Speaking of which, make a Constitution saving throw for you and for your drake.
Alrighty, let me
Damn,
get
how much
my
bacon was that?
It was,
Crates.
it was crates of bacon. I would say each crate is probably going to be about 3 pounds. So with 3 crates,
a natural
we're
20.
Yeah, we got about, I'd say we got about 15 pounds of bacon in front of you. You get a nat 20, but let's see what your drake gets.
Does he get a 10?
Constitution saving.
What would a nat 20 on a bacon like?
On a
get as
bacon
bonus?
eating?
10.
Temporary hit point.
He's more of a fish guy.
So, your drake does manage to scarf down a decent amount, but you somehow out-eat your drake, and you scarf it down to such an insane degree that you, like, smack your hands together after you're done, and you have re-earned the respect of the innkeeper. But this, like, greasiness on your hands, you immediately, like, feel it, and you're like, that's a little weird. You wipe it on your pants a little bit and you try and get it off you, but then it all kind of collects into a pouch, and the bartender's just like, "That was still fairly impressive. Let me get that for you." And he wipes up all the bacon grease, puts it into a pouch, and he's like, "You might need this later, as you have 1 casting of the spell Grease,"
Oh, okay.
which you can
I
use
will
your
deal with
own spell casting modifier for.
Okay. So I just get to summon a bunch of like 30-year-olds playing teenagers.
Yes, that's
in
exactly
my
what it is.
bag. Oh, I could say that hers only ate the eggs, and I ate the bacon because I originally just ordered the bacon.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way.
And so now you have a free casting of the spell Grease, and you're welcome to prepare for the quest ahead.
Clean up, definitely. Take a victory shower. I take a victory watch. Just so I don't have grease all over me. And yeah. If Leviathan's ready, I'm down to go and check out or go talk to some guards. If that's the route that we want to go.
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Alright.
So you both head on out. There is a few police stations around the city, but you go to the one closest to this adventurers hall, and it does seem fairly busy, very bustling, but there's definitely somebody hanging out at a front desk, and a man greets you. He says, "What can I do for you?"
Before that, I would also like to say, as soon as we get back outside, I can't really tell hers to go away and come back in the same day, so I'll just tell him to fly up really high in the clouds and just keep it like a mental connection with them.
Okay.
So it's not like scaring passerbys or anything like that, unless medium-sized drakes are not frowned upon in the city.
They're not. Sometimes you even see like various other random animals being used as like workhorse type of creatures, or things that will like pull carts. So it's not always going to be horses. It might be some other random creature that would pull a cart. So some people even use small drakes for that.
Oh, then I'll just ride them around.
Okay.
As a mount.
So yeah, you ride around on the mounts, and then you get to the police station or the city guard office, and there is a guard at a front desk, and it says, "Well, what can I do for you?"
I'd show him the I would assume that we took the poster. And I would say that we would like to inquire more information about this bounty, this posting
He says,
that we found at the local tavern.
"Posting? Nobody tells me nothing." And he looks over and says, "Hey, Chief!" And the guy pops his head out. He looks very like jolly. He has a very large smile on his face, and says, "Oh, what can I do for you?" And he looks at the posting and says, "Oh, yes, we needed some help with this one. Come on back." And
What does the chief look like?
he's fairly tall, somewhat balding, has some very like happy looking cheeks, I guess, and that's about the best description I could give. He is human, and he's wearing glasses.
Okay, I'm at a loss then.
Okay. And he sits down at his desk and he says, "Well, we needed some help with this one. Adventure business gets a bit confusing. Sometimes it falls on the adventurer, sometimes it falls on us, but usually if it's somebody that's just dealing with adventures, we don't know what to make of it because you folk make a lot of enemies."
Yeah, that's understandable.
So
But hopefully we do more good than harm.
says, "Well, I'd hope so." But and you see him like reach over and he has this like plate of dessert that he's just suddenly like eating down, and as he's like taking large bites of cake, he just starts saying like, "Well, I don't think," and you hear the smacking of food, which I'm not going to try and imitate because I don't need people listening to that. And he kind of has some food that spills out of his mouth and just says, "Look, we investigated. We found that it was just one person. They're using some sort of sword to attack, and it could be a mercenary, could be an assassin. It's out of our depth, and frankly, if they're only attacking adventurers, it could be somebody that you adventurers screwed over at some point. It's not worth us investigating. We got other problems in this city."
So it says that they haven't been identified. Have we seen what they may be wearing, what they may look like? Are they wearing a mask or anything like that?
Says, "We haven't gotten a good look at all. It always seems to happen at night, and it just seems to happen around one of the adventurer halls. But it hasn't happened around the closest one, which is the one you were at." So they seem to be targeting more the south and west parts of the city. And you know that the west part of the city is much more like docks for ships and stuff. And the south part tends to be more of a, not red light district, but more of like a lot of bars and people go there to party and drink and stuff.
I'll look over to Leviathan and see what he or they may have to, if they have any questions or any insights.
I think you might be muted again. Or not. Maybe. Possible sound problems for Leviathan. Maybe.
Yeah, am I muted again?
No, I can hear you now.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So, no, you basically covered everything.
All right. And he says, "Well, if you're going to be helping us out and dealing with this, I thank you." And then he like pats you on the back and looks down at the ooze and refuses to pat Leviathan. And then immediately is just like, "Would you like some cake?" And then he like, you see that there's like a big happy birthday banner and a whole bunch of small plates of cake in a room just to the side.
How stuffed would I be at this point? Would Berg be?
You'd have a little bit of room. It's like the second stomach ready for cake.
Gotcha. Yeah, the dessert stomach. I gotcha. Then yes, I would take him up on his offer.
All right.
And I would ask for his name and give him mine as well. Just add the pleasantries.
Let me look that one up real fast.
Ayo. I'm trying to see if this is a base character or not.
It is based off of somebody, which I
So
only...
my initial guess was going to be Braum, but there was no mustache, and I'm like, nope, can't be him.
Was going to be who?
Braum
Braum?
from League of Legends.
Oh, okay.
It said smiley guy, big.
No, let me... I'm finding the... What is it giving me? Only the exact actor. I need the name of the character. Where the hell? I refuse to let this go. It says, my name is Inspector Francis.
And that's the jolly guy.
Yeah.
That we just was talking. Okay.
Yeah, he says, you can call me Francis. I mean, if you want to get all official, Inspector Butterman or whatever. But just call me Francis.
Alright.
And
Then...
And you do know that he does also explain that they have been mostly being attacked at night and mostly in those two districts. There are like 5 different adventure halls throughout the city, as Builder City is a bit of a large city and there are multiple adventurers halls just all around. But out of the 5, the most densely attacked are the ones by the coast or by the docks and by the south part of the city where most bars and nightlife are.
Does he know which one's the most recently attacked one?
Well, the ones we got the most recent reports of, at least, was over by the docks.
Alright. I would thank him for the time, information, and the sweets, and we'll report back if we find anything new. If he is inclined. If not, then I wish him adieu.
Says, happy to be of service and happy you're taking this off our hands.
You know what I'm saying? It's what we do. Helping out the city with as much as we can, when we can.
And on your way out, you bump into a couple more inspectors or city guards. One of them you do get a divine aura from, as they are definitely an Aasimar, and the other seems to be almost like it appears to be a dwarf, although he doesn't have a particularly large beard for a dwarf, as they both just kind of stumble in, holding on to somebody they just arrested.
Would this be one of the only or first Aasimars I've ever ran into? No offense, Leviathan.
Yeah, because you never met Leviathan before Leviathan became an ooze, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because you were just hanging out in the mountains before you came to the city. So yeah, this would probably be one of the first Aasimar you've ever seen.
And could you describe them if you have that offhand? If not, that is completely fine.
Yeah, he's about very similar height to you, light hair. His eyes seem to be very bright and almost glowing, and he does have very fair skin, but he does seem especially serious as he walks by, but that's about everything I can give you unless you want to start doing some checks.
No, that's fine. I think Berg clocks his eyes and then just like thinks for a second, shakes his head, continues on.
Talon Stark thinks it's South Park, but I'm not going with South Park yet. With that, you guys head out. Which area would you like to go to first?
I would tell Ironberg would tell Leviathan, it's like, if we go to a previous site, we might get more insight, obviously, but hypothetically, if anything was taken and it can be described, I might be able to cast a spell and try to find said object and possibly track this person down.
Okay. So you're going to try and find an object and use that to track them down, but you have to find one of the attack scenes or something.
Yes, so essentially I have to describe or name an object that I'm familiar with, which I'm assuming if someone were to describe something that may have lost or was stolen from them, from the attacker, then I would be considered familiar with it at that point, kind of like a scry spell,
Okay.
per se. If that's a possibility,
Okay.
If not, then we can also find more info at the scene of the crime.
All right.
Possibly attack pattern.
Yeah, so that's fine. And you and Leviathan start chatting about which area you'd like to go to. I also got a comment from Talon Stark asking if it's Inspector Butters, how is it not South Park? Well, it is a reference to a different thing. The only hints I would give are the name of the chief inspector and the two city guard people that were walking in, as one is an Aasimar and the other one is a dwarf. That's it. Can't give any more hints.
This it hurts because this is like an early 2000s movie, isn't it? Fuck, it probably is.
It probably is an early 2000s movie. And,
this hurts.
And
This hurts.
Talon Stark is asking the name of the guards, but I'm not giving those because it didn't pop up in game.
Was it Constantine?
No, not Constantine.
No. I'm stuck on the Aasimar thing.
Yeah, and I think you're on the right track with what you're thinking.
That was my best guess.
Yeah.
It hurts.
I know mentally you're on the right track. You're like it's definitely like a totally different thing. The Chief's, and Talon Stark asked, the Chief's name was Francis Butterman, but that is something you're probably not going to remember unless you start Googling stuff. But that feels like cheating. So.
True, and I'm trying not to do that.
Yeah. Because I did not come with usually I try and change the name entirely and come up with some sort of weird variation on it, but I did not do that for this character. And the idea of an Aasimar and a dwarf are kind of the other telling things. But I think Talon Stark may have figured it out as I get a barrage of ha-ha-has, and I love it. So I think he figured it out. But with that, Leviathan and Berg, what area of the city would you like to go to first?
I put my vote into the south.
Okay. And I think Leviathan's still having some sound issues because he keeps randomly getting muted. But if there's no objections, we'll go to the south first, as my dog is going nuts in the background, and I don't know if it can be picked up on the microphone, but my dog is going nuts, as always. All right, so you're going to head to the south, the more partier kind of area of the city. Let me zoom out. And you find yourselves in, at this point, it is nighttime. You do find that there is a bit of hustle and bustle going around. There, it's pretty lively. It's like, there's lots of bars open. You could hear.
Wait, isn't this where everyone met Batman?
It is where everyone met Batman. Good call. As I literally still have him hidden on the map here. But there is plenty of hustle and bustle. There's music you can hear, all sorts of stuff.
I could actually just call Batman right now.
You could call Batman, as you have a wand of the Dark Knight, and it allows you to cast Skywrite, which would hopefully summon his attention, depending on the situation.
Yeah, the main issue is reverse. I just took his option, so.
Yeah, you took it off the another character that died. Are you going to use it now, or are you holding on to it for right now?
Should I? I don't actually know.
It is totally up to you. If you'd like to use it right now, you can. It's your game. It's your item. You can use it whenever
I'm not going to call Batman.
You're not going to call back.
I'll call him if I actually need him in a more important situation.
All right.
Serious situation.
That's totally fine. So as you are going through the streets, let me expose Leviathan. Went past this area, so you can kind of see down that alleyway. Is there anything particular you're looking for? Are you going to go into any of the bars? What would you like to do?
Well, okay. In movies like this happens, you go into the bar and you talk to the bartender. See if they know anything. I don't know why bartenders always know everything in movies.
I mean,
everybody drunkenly talks to them and spills everything about their life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, I do not have control of my images.
You might have to just drag them on yourself.
Like drag
I'm trying.
I just deleted the ones that I dragged on, so that way you can drag one on yourself.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Yeah.
There we go.
Actually, I think
I accidentally
So
stole
we
them back.
go ask. I'm gonna head into the bar and see if I can get any information.
All right, so you can head into the bar. There's one directly to the west of you. With the lights on, it sounds like it's pretty lively in there. It's a smaller bar. It can only fit about, 40 people, and I'd say there's at least 25 in there already. As it gets pretty noisy, but it's a little rowdy. This is not exactly like the best part of town, and it's known for dealing with a lot of drunk folks. But you go on in, and you hear a bartender shouting over the sound of music and the other patrons in the bar, and he just says, "All right, what can I get for you?"
Oh, it just clicked.
Who is it? Like, what is the movie thing?
Is this one of the trilogy? Is this one of the big three movies of what's their names?
If you can tell, if you
I
can,
don't understand the awesome reference, but the short dude, police.
Avatar?
Is this fucking Hot Fuzz?
it is Hot Fuzz. Yes.
God damn.
Okay.
I can't think of their names, but the dudes from it was
Any of my guesses.
Yeah, the main actor in the movie played a character named Inspector Angel, and so that's why it was an Asimar. Simon Pegg, yeah, Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg and
Nick Frost
is
is
one of the-
just generally like a shorter companion
yeah.
to him, so I thought of a dwarf. Yeah.
the funny thing is, the Angel kept messing me up because of the names and everything. Because I haven't seen Hot Fuzz in years, but the dwarf what got me.
Yeah.
And then it started thinking of cop movies. I'm like, I started thinking of that
Oh.
meme where he's like loading the shotgun. He's just said shame because I literally showed that to somebody the other day. Oh god, now I feel bad because I don't remember anything of that movie.
That's
I,
fine.
I know there's like 2 murderers or something.
Oh yeah, there's an entire town of murderers there.
Yeah,
But-
it's not like it's wait, but it said it was a single.
Yeah, but it does. That
One of
could.
the murderers is probably a cop, though. Like who's
Yeah. So
provided the information that it was a single culprit.
yeah, or maybe they're just normal cops that are maybe planted for a future quest. Maybe, possibly.
But yeah, unless it comes back to me, this doesn't really help me at all.
Yeah, but you get DM inspiration for figuring out it was Hot Fuzz.
Nice.
Hey.
We both have the inspiration, huh?
Yep.
All
Okay,
right, then,
so
yeah,
in the bar, we're gonna I'm gonna ask around, see if anyone.
I think he.
Yeah, he may have cut out for a second, but I think you're gonna ask around, see who's. I want you to go ahead and make an insight check to see if you can kind of discern who the most important people to talk to in the situation would be.
Could I help him with that?
Sure.
Help action.
Alrighty.
Yep. Definitely helped because that made it so you have an 18 instead of an 8, as the help action gave you advantage. And you are kind of able to suss out while you're looking around. You notice some people look a bit more commonplace, and then there's a few folks that look like they have a few slightly hidden scars, or they may have been on a few adventures. So you do manage to suss out that there are about 5 adventurers in this pub.
Okay, I'm gonna maybe go over and see if I can listen in on anything they're talking about.
Okay. They're split into 2 groups, as there's 2 adventurers talking to a group of commoners, and then there's 3 adventurers talking to a different group of commoners. As you go and talk to the 2
Of
adventurers...
us, so we just.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
I mean, there's 2 of us, so we
Yeah.
can just both check.
Yeah.
the group.
Okay.
I was gonna say that Berg would go to the. I would tell Leviathan, whichever one you don't try to
I'll
eavesdrop
take the
on
3
him.
people.
All right. Leviathan takes the 3, Berg takes the 1, or the 2, and I need each of you to make a perception check.
Perception. I'm actually.
Okay, here we go. Wisdom bros. Perception. That would be, if I'm on the right screen.
Does the dragon make perception?
The dragon probably wouldn't fit too well. It's a pretty...
Yeah, he.
Yeah, it's
he
in the
would
sky
bounce.
or something.
Yeah.
No, I was riding him as a mount, so it would just be like outside with the rest of the
Yeah, so
mounts that might be out there.
Leviathan, you're able to pick up a few things here and there. They're just kind of randomly talking about the best spots to drink in the area. And he's mumbling quite a bit, but from what you can tell, he's just hammered. And so is the other two. And Berg, with a 23 in perception, you do hear them talking about, some of the best places around. They're new to the area. And as they start talking about how they're new to the area, you do hear, with a 23 perception check, that one of the commoners starts saying, well, I don't want to scare them off because they do bring a lot of business to the area, but do you think we should tell them?
Are they talking about... Oh, wait, no, I'm not there.
Yeah, you're listening to some drunk people mumble.
And it's from my understanding that these two commoners are also talking to two possible adventurers that we've...
Yes.
Gotcha.
But the two commoners are kind of trying to talk amongst themselves to see what they should tell the adventurers.
I gotcha. I'll clock that, keep an eye on them, and then if they don't continue on and they split off, I would approach the two commoners.
Okay.
And start a conversation with them.
Okay. As a few minutes goes by, you do hear a shout from behind the bar, and the bartender looks over and says, "Hey, either order something or get out," as he's looking at you very suspiciously. He says, "Well, it's a bar. We have a lot of alcohol. I need you to be a little more specific," as he's shouting over everybody.
All of it.
Yeah, I'll just go and get some ale. Or, I wonder how much bacon this man has.
Oh, crap, wait, no, they probably don't have the specific type of alcohol.
Yeah, this is just like a run-of-the-mill pub.
I'll get, food. I'll get a chicken.
It says, "A chicken? We don't have a chicken. We got some snacks over here, and we got booze. What do you want?" And
what type of snacks do they have?
he looks around, and he takes like 3 bowls out. One of them looks to be like some sort of mixed nuts. Another one seems to be like olives, and then one more just seems to be some sort of like crisps, similar to like chips or just fried potato.
I'll just get some booze.
He says, "All right," and he
I can't really get drunk, but whatever.
Yeah, he like widely gestures to the thing, and he just seems kind of annoyed. And he looks over at Berg, and you say you want an ale, so he just like, at least somebody makes it easy. And he like slams a mug on the table. It hits the tap, and he just keeps looking at you as it fills up. And then as soon as it's done, he slams the tap shut, slams it down.
I'd like to have a Guinness.
And he's like, 5 copper.
I hand him some copper.
Okay. He says, "Thanks." And he scoops it up, and he looks back at the Leviathan. He's just like, "Made a decision yet?"
Can I have one of everything?
He says, "Are you serious?" And he looks over, and there is like...
They don't know that I can't get drunk. They don't know that I can't get drunk. So if I just do this, I'll get famous.
And then, as soon as he says, like, "Are you serious?" I would turn to him like, "Be serious."
All right.
He's got a problem.
That's as there's about like... Let me roll for this.
I'm gonna get famous.
There are 30 different kinds of alcohol behind him. And
which is the strongest one?
He says,
bottomless pit duo.
Yeah, he looks over. He's like, "Oh, you want the strongest one?" And he kind of smirks. And he's like, "You got the coin to pay for it?"
How much is it?
He says, "Well, for this stuff, it's going to be 15 gold.
Like a single bottle?
He says, "A single shot."
I mean, if it's good.
Okay, I'll do it.
He says, "All right." And then you see him like he's out of nowhere. He reaches down, and then you see this big panel behind the bar open up as a trap door behind the bar flaps open, and you see him disappear down a set of stairs. And You see him come back up a few seconds later, or more like 3 minutes later, and he's holding a single shot that he puts in front of you, and then he collects your gold.
I just down it.
You absorb it. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, a Wisdom saving throw, a Charisma saving throw, and an Intelligence saving throw.
Oh.
There you go. It just kept getting worse.
Yeah.
Until it got better.
Yeah, with a 22 on your Wisdom save, a 15 on your Charisma save, a 10 on your Intelligence save, and a 23 on your Constitution save, you manage to stay mostly solid. As holding your form seems to be kind of like its own challenge a little bit for a moment. But you stop being able to speak.
I'm surprised that worked on me.
Yeah, as you like consuming it, you immediately know that this is like, you're like, this is not normal. And like, but when you're thinking it in your head, you say like, this is not, and like it just kind of gets stuck on repeat in your mind. And you just see like it, and Berg, you start seeing that the plasmoid is kind of like quivering in a weird way, hardly able to maintain its shape. And the bartender looks at Berg and says, "Your friend okay?"
Of course I'm not okay. You're the one who gave me this. You know how...
Has anybody ever ordered that before?
Says, "No, of course not." So, I mean, I've only ever seen...
Wait, what is it called? What is it called? What is this thing called?
Says, well, it hasn't really come up with a name yet. We've been kind of experimenting with it. We found that the only folks that can even remotely start to handle it are giants, and they can usually only take a couple drops.
Not even dwarves?
Says, no, not even dwarves.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, he's still standing.
Is Leviathan gonna get, like, an addiction?
This is very, like, I wouldn't say that this is immediately addiction forming, but at the same time, it is definitely, like, you got it. Yeah, like, if you had gotten 1 point lower on your charisma save, it could have gone real south, but you can't speak at the moment. And luckily you have your wisdom and constitution save to back you up.
Okay. But I'm drunk. Like, I am technically hammered.
Yes. You are very hammered. Like, you are just a ball of quivering plasmoid at this point. And, like, you see bubbles popping out of you as if to be a plasmoid version of hiccuping.
It isn't even possible.
Yes, of course not, because you don't have lungs, but that's what's happening.
I would tell the bartenders, like, he should be okay. He never, he can't really get drunk. It's usually just a party trick. But this is the first I've ever seen like this.
He's
drunk.
Yeah, he's just like, well, good luck with the rest of the night. Most of the stuff doesn't kick in right away. And he just kind of walks off.
Oh, oh no. You bastard. I'm about to go fight a murderer. Damn, I'm gonna die. Well, hold on. I have hold on. Where's my list? How Leviathan reacts to being drunk. It's somewhere on here.
I feel like Leviathan is the person that just touches everything in the dungeon, no consequences.
Yep. I mean, there's a reason Leviathan has died, come back as a reborn, and then became a plasmoid.
While this is going on, I'll look back towards the four people I was listening to.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just turn around nonchalantly and try to clock them, see what's going on from across. I'm assuming it's pretty. You said it's pretty crowded in here.
Yeah, it's fairly crowded. It's not like absolutely packed, but you do notice that.
So I can get a line of sight, right?
Yeah, you can get a line of sight, and you do see that the two commoners have kind of stepped away from the adventurers.
Okay. Did I see Leviathan put down the 15 gold prior, or has he not put it down yet? Okay, so he did.
Yeah, because he wouldn't have handed over the shot without the gold.
Gotcha. Okay, I was just making sure because like I didn't want the tab to be unpaid, but I would tell Leviathan, I'll be right back, bud, and go over and talk, strike up a conversation with the two commoners.
Leviathan, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Ah.
All it did was pat him on the back.
Yeah.
Wait, can I even trip over? I'm just a blob.
Yeah, I mean, you're just kind of like a blob on top of the bar, and you feel a slight nudge, and you turn to see Berg walking away, and like the turning almost sends you spinning, and you like almost flop off the top of the bar, but you manage to like grip on ever so slightly, and you're like, oh no, I got it. And like it feels like the whole bar is spinning a little bit.
Just hammered.
Yes, you are
So I'm just like,
hammered.
yeah, okay.
Like you're not sure whether you actually drank alcohol or if this was some sort of like lighter fluid for the lamps that are nearby, or if this was somehow like infected by some sort of arcane thing. You have no idea. Unless you wanted to make an additional check.
Nope, no thanks.
You drink it again and see what happens. I don't know how you're gonna order it, but so yeah, pretty much it would kill anybody else. It just gets Leviathan drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it would immediately knock most folks unconscious.
Yeah, I just start like blabbing this random crap.
Yeah, you're essentially like talking in baby talk, or you're just like, and Berg, you head over to the two commoners. What do you want to say to them?
Do I feign ignorance or I just go clean with it? Yeah, I'm still new to the town. I am new to this area. I've never been in this area before. Yeah, I would strike up a conversation, ask asking about the two guys they was just talking to. Seemed like adventuring type, and I'm new to the town. Seeing if they would have any wisdom to impart towards me.
Yeah, and they say, "Oh, I mean, if you're new to the town, welcome." And then they look you up and down, and then one of them says, "You an adventurer?"
Yeah. Well, quite recently started doing that. I came from the mountains and everything like that, and thought I'd get a change of scenery.
And the other one they look at each other a little bit, but one of them says, "Look, we really appreciate you coming to our town, and that's great. Just be careful."
Is everything all right? I like get a little bit quieter and making sure they seem concerned.
Yeah, one of them's just like, "Well, it's just that," and the other one like nudges them and says, "Stop! We're not supposed to stop."
I was like, I won't push you further, but you two seem pretty concerned. And I mean, I'm here to do good. And my buddy over there, and point towards the shaking blob at the bar.
As you,
like,
and then they're like, "That's a living thing."
I decided to take a short rest, I guess.
And I'll like turn back slowly, realizing that he's completely slammered. I'm like, yeah, have you heard the story of Icarus? He kind of flew too close to the sun just then. He's had a little bit too much to drink. But yeah, no, I was just trying to get information, see what's up, and if anybody needs help or anything. Yes. And you two seem pretty concerned.
The other one looks.
You don't have to tell me.
And one of them looks and says, "Yeah, all right. Look, just be careful out there. We've heard some rumors about adventurers getting attacked. I mean, one was killed in an alley just around the corner last night."
Just last night?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Leviathan, I want you to roll a D100.
Oh my god.
Leviathan just having a rave in his body.
35.
35. All right. Give me a second while I find that. Let's see. You can...
Who would have thought that someone who dumped their charisma just has the most riz right now?
Yeah. All right. I need you to make another Constitution saving throw.
No, they talk.
Okay. You hiccup, and you immediately feel an urge. There is... Yeah, damn. There's too many. There we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. You, like, out of nowhere, 2 large teeth spring out of your face as you feel yourself almost shift into a saber-toothed tiger. As your, like, wild shape almost kicks in, but it doesn't. And then you, like, and then those sharp teeth suddenly turn back to plasma, and you're like, I got it.
Okay. I'm just messing around.
You know, just to make sure, can I throw out an insight check on these two, just to see if they're up and up on it?
Yeah, make an insight check.
Like I'm pretty convinced, but you never know.
Yeah,
I don't know why it's not double rolling.
So
weird.
I mean, it usually prompts it, or it has like a default. But either way, you can pretty much tell with a 15 on your insight check that they seem to be fairly honest. They do seem genuinely concerned, although you can tell that like
like they're obviously going to withhold information to a stranger that they just met at a bar, and like
yeah,
that's understandable.
Yeah, like it doesn't seem like they're really like it seems like they're also worried about scaring you off. There might be some sort of reasoning for that, but
I would tell them and reassure them, it's like, I might not be the best at cracking down on things, but I can tell good people when I see them, and I thank you for sharing this information. Being informed helps everyone out, especially during these times, and I'm sorry for putting all this on you. And did you know the adventurer who got attacked or anything like that?
It says no, but I came across the scene. It was gruesome.
I know this is hard to ask, but was there any information anything discerning that could possibly help in an investigation? Like, obviously take your time. You don't have to answer. I know reliving these things could be hard. Like, I've seen my fair share of gruesome scenes in the mountains.
He looks at you and says, I can show you where it was. I mean, they haven't even cleaned it up all the way yet.
And how's Leviathan looking over there? Is he...
Okay, you know, just midway through this conversation, I just like slide over and I just grab onto your foot, and I'm just like, you're trying to abandon me, aren't you? I just start yelling random crap.
Yeah.
You're trying to abandon me. You're running off with these 3 people. You're replacing me. Yeah.
And it's like slime rolling, and then out of nowhere, some hands come out and like wrap around you, and it's just like this puddle on the ground.
Like I just like slowly start crawling up him, and then I take a nap in his pocket.
As you start crawling up him, I need you to let's make a perception check at disadvantage, and then make a dexterity saving throw.
What's the perception check?
So you try and climb, like, I mean, you're still at the smallest point of view. You're still a small creature, so you wouldn't fit in his pocket. But you can probably fit in, like, his pack. And as you start crawling up to get into his pack, you misjudge a little bit. You fall sideways, and then out of nowhere, you're, like, encapsulating his head.
I'm just like a hat now.
And not as, like, and...
my cap of water.
Yeah, you're just completely engulfing his head at the moment as you're like not maintaining your shape very well. And Berg, you start trying to pull him off of your head so you can actually breathe. Go ahead and make a Berg. You can make a athletics or acrobatics athletics check.
Damn. Athletics.
Yeah.
All right. That would be a 14.
Yeah, that's enough to like strip this ooze off of your head, and you whip your pack around and throw him in, and then you just see this like blobby head shape kind of flop out, and it's just like it's like a baby that hasn't really developed its neck muscles yet, and it's just like flopping around.
I don't know how much I trust them. It's on the back. But I'll, as the DD, I suppose, I'll go into a nurturing way. It's like taking care of little hers all over again. He used to be a menace, and let him sit in my pack. I'll keep it open so he can, see, hear, whatever. And like, you get some rest, little buddy.
All right, can I take a short rest?
If you want to take a short rest, go for it.
I'll allow him if he does. If my input has anything to say.
Yeah, I'll
No,
just need. I will need
sorry,
one
Dad.
Constitution saving throw while you're resting. Okay.
Oh, thank God.
You managed to not throw up in his backpack with a 25 on the con save. And with that,
Easy with 25, by the way.
Does he have any food in his bag?
He would have some rations and stuff.
Yeah, I just eaten that.
Okay.
I just started consuming anything in his bag I can. Just whatever.
Yeah, you start suddenly like it.
Where's my
I would say you could hear like chomping and like somebody
I've seen
eating,
this-
but you just absorb it. You don't have a mouth, so
I've seen this entity completely eradicate an entire body.
yeah,
I'm just glad my bow's not in there.
yeah. And with that, the commoner starts being helpful enough to guide you out to the scene of the crime.
I got you. And so so for my own sake, they don't know the person. They ran across it. It was at night. It's kind of sketchy because this had to have happened after. So even though I've been keeping a friendly demeanor with all this in my head, I would also, Weinberg would also not go into a false sense of security with these people. But definitely wouldn't show it per se.
Okay. Just grabbing a person.
Just to represent the
Yeah.
people following.
So they start guiding you around the corner into this dark, thin alley, and they come in here, and immediately you can smell a little bit of the stench of death. It hasn't quite settled in too deeply, but you can still see sprays of blood and a bit of disarray as there's some like broken pieces of crates and boxes around.
Leviathan's just gonna start trying to talk to the blood, because
So you
Yeah.
talk to the blood.
I'm gonna talk to it, like have a conversation with it.
Okay.
Can you
hello,
speak?
fellow plasmoid. How are you today?
Yeah.
Can you speak yet?
As far as you're concerned, Leviathan, you are having the most intellectual conversation with this blood, as you're like, well, I would think that, and the blood is responding by saying like, I would love to tell you more about this alleyway. It has got quite the history, as it starts giving you like a strange history lesson on the entire city and this alley specifically, and it's like acting like a tour guide.
No, we're having this conversation in cat language.
That's fine.
Because, you just hear meowing, like
Yeah.
Leviathan meowing. Hello, blood.
Yeah, you're meowing, but in actual speaking, it sounds very smart and very intellectual to you, but everybody else just hears a meowing coming from Berg's backpack. And Berg, what would you like to do?
I will look back to the people who guided me here and like, this is like, you guys don't have to go further and relive everything. And I would thank them for pointing me out over here and telling that my friend and I will try to get to the bottom of this as swiftly as possible.
And he just says, have at it, and immediately walks off. He's still got a mug in his hand, and he starts drinking it down as he goes back to the pub.
Where's the second person at that was with them?
He was just kind of following him along.
Gotcha. Okay. With that, can I get a can I look around, see if there's anybody hiding, anybody that followed us?
Make
anybody
a
on the rooftop?
perception check.
Gotcha.
With a 16 on your perception, you don't really see anybody that's like particularly notable. There are a couple people walking through the streets, but nobody in this narrow alleyway that you're currently in. And it doesn't seem like anybody's paying a particularly large amount of attention to you, outside of the occasional person kind of wondering what you're doing hanging out in this alley.
Yeah. I would have called hers over once the two people got over, and just would be curled up, unimposing, off to the side, just in range. Yeah, I'll look down. Is Leviathan still speaking gibberish?
Yeah.
To the
Yeah.
I'll just pat the satchel softly and continue on and try to find the body. If not,
as you pat the satchel softly, I need Leviathan make a Constitution saving throw.
You really want her to explode in my bag, don't you?
With the 20 on the con save, you managed to not puke all over. And
is it like a plot point or something that's important? Me throwing up?
No, not at all. I just like playing
like Venom, where I throw up and I have like a child or something.
No. Oh, well, now that's an idea, but maybe we'll see.
This is how Leviathan reproduces.
Yeah. Yeah, you go ahead and you're inspecting the area. Please feel free to make an investigation check as you're checking out the scene of the crime.
Alrighty, and okay, so when I put the input value in, it says advantage ? Normal roll, advantage, disadvantage. If I put either one, will it show up the double rolls?
Usually,
or
yeah.
do you want me to just?
Yeah, just put.
And you could do so at advantage, as you were guided there by a commoner who pointed to exactly where the crime took place. With a 7, you can't really tell a whole lot. You can still see the giant splatters of blood and broken boxes, but that's all you can really discern.
Gotcha. Can I check out who the person is? Any identification? Did they look like they put up a struggle? Were they just murder in a back alley? Did they put up a fight?
I mean, the body's not there anymore. It happened the previous night, and they took away the body, but they just haven't cleaned up the scene.
Gotcha. Do I see anything? Oh, no, that'll be under the investigation. Oh, shit. Let's see something.
Can Leviathan try and make an investigation check?
Yes, please do so at disadvantage. Yeah, you try and make an investigation check, and you slip out of the backpack and slap into the blood, absorbing some of it.
I apologize to the blood when I land on it.
And the blood says, "Oh, no problem. It happens to the best of us. I totally understand." As it's almost like the stone comes alive, any part that's touching the blood, and like pats you on the shoulder, and the blood's eyes that it suddenly grows looks at you and says, "Are you feeling all right?"
Yep, I'm fine. Wow. I started doing like a southern accent.
Says, "Because all of a sudden you sound southern."
Does the blood know anything?
Yeah.
Can you ask the blood? Like, yo, so where'd you come from?
You seen anything go down here recently?
Says, "Well, of course, I do exist. I mean, I had to have come from somewhere, right?"
Yeah, so you see anything? I'm gonna ask the blood if it knows anything about the murder.
So go ahead and make an insight check at disadvantage.
Wait, with the blood.
I would ask if I could help him, but I don't think I can in this scenario.
With that 13 on insight, it's not terrible.
Can't you throw in your inspiration and make that a 21 instead?
If you want to use your DM inspiration, you can get that 21.
I get a 21.
Yeah, so you take you take the first roll, which is the 21. And Talon Stark was asking for a quick update on what they missed. Well, apparently, Leviathan drank one of the most potent alcohols known to all of the Faerun, and he is beyond belligerent and hallucinating and all sorts of crazy stuff happening, and they're investigating a scene of the crime. With a 21 on your insight, since you used your DM inspiration to take the first roll instead of the disadvantaged roll, you suddenly feel like it's like speaking to you, and you like have this moment of realization that it's like speaking to your subconscious, and subconsciously you know there's something important around, and you find this like small scrap of cloth, slightly
Like,
soaked in
ooh,
blood.
hold on. Just real quick. I eat it.
You eat the cloth.
But
yeah.
I'm assuming I see Leviathan rolling after something, correct?
Yes, you see that that like right next to Leviathan there is a scrap, and it like suddenly looks in that direction, or like its ooze face shifts, and you see it immediately start to like reach for something.
Can I see if I'm faster than Leviathan to grab that cloth?
Yeah, make a dexterity saving throw, and Leviathan do the same at disadvantage.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, Leviathan. That's hilarious, though.
Your deck space. You should beat me.
It's a dex save, correct?
Yes, dex save.
Okay. Oh
With-
my god.
Okay.
With a 17 on dex, you manage to beat the 11 that Leviathan rolled at disadvantage, and you manage to snatch up this piece of cloth, which seems to be soaked in day-old blood, as it is already starting to like harden and brown.
I'm like, you are such a wonder.
That's my lunch. Come on.
And I'll reach in to grab some rations and then realize I have nothing left. in
Yeah,
that bag.
they are completely gone.
I'm like, you know what? That's payment enough. And I'll scoop them back up in the bag. And then, God, hold on. Let me just check this out real quick.
As you're being scooped up, Leviathan, make one more Constitution saving throw.
You know, there's nothing in there anymore, so what's the harm?
Yeah, this is mostly just Leviathan trying to maintain his shape while being so blasted right now. Otherwise, he would have been like goop just slipping through your fingers, but he manages to like maintain his shape. You throw him in your backpack, and he's able to hold his form, or hold its form rather. And you have this scrap of cloth. What are you going to do with it?
I'll, with Leviathan in tow in my satchel, I'll mount onto hers and cast Locate Object on it.
Cool. So you cast Locate Object. Let me double check on this.
Won't you just find the scrap of cloth you're already holding?
Yeah, I'm double checking on how Locate Object works just in case.
Describe or name an object that's familiar to you that sense the direction with the object's location as long as the object is within 1,000 feet of you that the object is in motion. The spell can locate a specific object known to you as long as you have seen it up close within 30 feet or at least once. Alternatively, the spell can look nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of apparel. Oh, yes. The nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, or weapon. The spell can't locate any object of its thickness of lead, even a densely blocks the direct path between you and the object. So, would that entail not the item itself, but something that is similar to the item?
Yes, I'll allow it for this. I think it works. And within 1,000, how far is 1,000 feet?
Question.
1,000 feet is 1,000 feet. It's about 4 kilometers. I think it's 3.
Yeah, and my American brain thinks in miles, which is point
1/5 of a mile.
Yeah. So with that, you do manage to be able to feel that there is. I'm trying to think of. Excuse me. The object's.
Wait, so this scrap of cloth belongs to the killer.
I'm hoping.
That's what the hope is. Yeah. You do sense that to the west, to the northwest, there is something of similar make.
And we're in the south, correct?
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, he's gonna have hers. Is it nighttime? How's the streets look?
It is nighttime. The streets are sparsely populated. It's not so late that like nobody's out, but it's late enough that it's not hustle and bustle of the city.
Is there speed laws?
Not usually.
Hers is. He's going to command. Berg is going to command hers to double dash in the direction of northwest,
Okay.
zipping through the streets.
And
And I'm keeping it up for 10 minutes, and any longer, I'll just keep re-upping it because I can do it 3 times
Do I have to
at
make
second level.
saving throw again?
as you're being like jostled around and have the equivalent
Maybe
of
dexterity so we don't fall off hers.
no,
Yeah,
you're
I'm gonna
in-
latch, knowing
you're in the
knowing-
pack.
Okay.
knowing full speed.
Okay.
All right, and I'll need you to make. Oh, you already made a con save. Thank you. With your nat 20 on your con save, you're already starting to sober up a little bit. You're gonna need it. Yeah. So with that, you're starting to sober up with the nat 20. You're not quite there yet, but you're definitely on your way. I did get a request from Gengar Haunter on ruling assistance. Feel free to shoot me whatever ruling you're needing assistance with, and I will try to weigh in on it, Gengar. In the meantime, Berg is headed towards the northwest, and as you're heading northwest, you immediately almost like get another ping further northwest.
Okay. Do I have to re-up locate object? It is for 10 minutes.
No, you're able to make a decent amount of that distance pretty quickly. You're about halfway through right now, and then you get something just on the edge of your range, and you notice that after going close to a half a mile, you're getting close to the docks.
Oh, so we're okay. So it's at the okay.
You know something.
So yeah, knowing something that he's probably going to strike again. Once again, just keeping on double dashing with hers as fast as possible. I believe his movement's only 30, so it's not really faster than what we are, I don't think. I can double check that though.
Yeah, I mean you're doing all the dashing you can. That's
It's
fine.
80 feet.
Yeah, so
80
you're
feet
heading
for
as
double dash.
fast as possible towards the docks. And Gengar is coming in with a request for a Dungeon Master ruling. So they made an Assassin, Rogue, Gloomstalker Ranger that is also an Echo Knight fighter. And
Okay.
the Echo Knight has the ability to make a copy of himself. Yes.
Yes.
They make the Echo. Are you wondering if the Echo can make a sneak attack? I'm assuming that's where this is going.
Can they?
I would assume that it might be like trying to impose advantage so he can get the sneak attack.
Oh yeah, maybe the Echo, they're trying to hope that the Echo can provide, because you have to have like another enemy within 5 feet of the original enemy.
I'd say yes.
You can attack from Echo space.
Echo Knights can't do sneak attack, but I'd say they should be able to, cause it because they do count as their own entity.
Yeah, I think they count as their own entity. So I would say that like Echo Knight really would combo really well with a rogue, but they're asking they can you attack from the Echo space if you're 30 feet away and you are hidden previously, then you make the Echo Knight attack. Are you still hidden because you're attacking from the... Yeah. So I would definitely say you're still hidden, but your Echo's obviously not hidden. So if you're like just populating your Echo into existence, then it's the other creature you're attacking would have no idea where it came from. So it's just like, oh, there's a thing that suddenly popped into existence. Maybe it teleported. Maybe it's just a creature that exists in that way. So I would say that would not reveal the original person's location.
I should make an Echo Knight rogue.
Yeah. And with that,
I stole one.
you are now at the docks, or close to the docks, near the adventure hall. And the other question is, if you have umbral sight from being a ranger and a gloomstalker, does your Echo have umbral sight? I have to double check.
You can see from your Echo's position. Yeah, I'd assume so.
Yeah, I would assume so too. If you can see from your Echo's position. I'm double checking the wording on it.
Is it kind of like how you see through a familiar's vision? Because that's when you take on their perspective. and their stats. However, this is an echo of yourself, correct?
Yeah. So
So then, yeah, it would be the same stats as you.
I wouldn't say the echo is. Oh, let's see. You manifest an echo of yourselves in occupied space, though. It's magical, translucent, and a gray image. I wouldn't say that the echo itself is hidden, but I would say it could get a surprise attack if it just populated into existence. So if it's like the very first turn that you use the bonus action, I would definitely say it's a surprise. But once it's already existing out in the open, there's no way I would consider it hidden. That being said, since you can transfer your consciousness to the echo and you can see through the echo's eyes, yeah, I would say that you can use your umbral sight. I agree with Leviathan on that.
I would also say that I know it's kind of like glossed over sometimes, but passive perception would also play a part in it.
Yeah.
If it's just popping up out of nowhere or being moved. And then at that point, just have a basic stealth check if you're trying to be sneaky.
Yeah, I'm sure there are some ways you can play up the echo's stealth abilities. But in general, if it's out in the open, I would say it's not usually hidden. But I like that concept. Now I really want to make like an Echo Knight assassin who...
That is pretty dope.
Yeah.
I got Mortal Kombat build.
Yeah, it would be fun in combat. Let's see, reveal areas. All right, so you are... I want to reveal areas, not hide areas. There we go.
Yeah, I had to bring my own
My
icon
friend
back
is like hopping through the place. Like, I'm literally like just like, you know those slimes you just like bouncing. Yeah, like bounce.
So you see this slime just
multiplying.
bouncing through the area, and
are we still mounted or unmounted?
you can be mounted if you'd like. I assumed Leviathan bounced out and starts bouncing around. Oh, and
Are we at the guild? Are we at the guild hall, or are we
you're
still
making your way
outside?
towards it. But as you start coming around, and Gengar also says that they have 20 plus 23 stealth. So, and they're
Now is this a level 20?
yeah, that would have to be at least a level 10 or 11 with reliable talent and stuff.
You're right.
And expertise and all that jazz. What sucks is that the Echo Knight doesn't have any specific stuff as to their ability checks, but considering they are a magical manifestation of yourself, I would assume that it takes on your
Now,
stuff.
is this
Like Echo Knights can only really do the attack action, which sucks.
Yeah.
Like, like I usually imagine them as like literal shadow clones. Except
you
like,
can also stack Pass Without a Trace on them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You're
you should
flat
pass Without Trace on us so we can like sneak through this place.
Yeah. So is Leviathan sober at this point, or sobered up?
Leviathan, I do need you to make another Constitution saving throw to see how much soberness you got.
I just want to know if he can talk at this point. Oh,
and I'm trying to now I got to factor in the fact that he's a Gloomstalker Ranger. If Gengar is in darkness,
And that's
yeah, you're still pretty tipsy, which is gonna play out very interesting in a moment. I'm trying.
I have a plan for Leviathan acting drunk in combat.
you know, I don't doubt any of your
plan for a
plans.
while. I just never got drunk enough.
After last session, I don't doubt anything. Like, you can do no harm in my eyes. Is Leviathan able to speak at this point?
Yeah.
Yes, Leviathan can talk at this point. And Gengar, I
Okay.
don't know if I don't remember Rangers getting double proficiency bonus on anything usually, unless there's something. I don't know what version you're using, unless you're using the new 1 D&D stuff. There might be something, but I don't know how you'd be able to double your proficiency bonus and get expertise from one skill, unless I'm missing something.
So-
but I'd love to hear about that. And
The bad thing about Pass Without a Trace
Mhm.
is it's a concentration,
Yeah.
as well as locate objects, also concentration.
Oh,
So
yeah.
unless we want to know who it is and where it's at, then I won't be able to do that.
All right, then it's fine.
I mean, I can put you back in my satchel. I have a pretty good stealth check. I can stealth score.
Nah, I'm just gonna. I just zip around.
Okay.
I'm drunk, so.
All right. Then I'll follow Leviathan while he's rolling around, or
I
Oh.
I go here.
I'll head towards the pings that I'm getting.
That's a flip. I just look at all the doors and windows. Here. Wait, hold on, are there doors and windows and stuff?
Yeah, there are doors and windows and stuff. Let me get to that in just a second.
I don't open the door. I just poke my head under the door because I'm a plasmoid.
Your proficiency. Oh, okay. So, before we dive into what's about to happen in game, Gengar just brought up something that may be broken in D&D. So, Deft Explorer, which is an optional feature, has Canny at first level, which allows you to choose one of your skills, and you can double any ability check, double your proficiency bonus for any ability check you make using a chosen skill, which means you can add that.
I thought that just gave you expertise. Wait, D&D Beyond just gives you expertise on that.
Well, Canny is a separate thing from expertise, though.
Exactly. Canny is separate from expertise. So if you
D&D Beyond just gives you expertise on that.
Oh.
Oh my god, I've been playing a worse version of Ranger this whole time.
I mean,
Wait a second.
Yeah, so if D&D Beyond just gives you expertise, that might have been a coding thing for the website, because I mean it is a totally different name of something, and expertise would also double your proficiency bonus again.
Huh.
But I don't think it would be ×4. It'd probably be ×3, but still that's massive. And so you got 5 plus at max level, that's 6, bringing it to 11. Add another 6, that's 18. And add another 6, that's 24. As my dog goes nuts. Yeah, that is an absolutely insane thing if your DM allows you to double your proficiency bonus twice.
Plus pass without trace.
Plus pass without a trace, which would add +10. And then you get a 34.
Or just straight up
With a reliable talent,
Yeah.
which will make it to where you can't roll below a 10.
Yeah. It's just absurd, all around. But I think that works.
automatically.
Thank you, Gengar, for making it so I can break a future build. I'm going to make another video about the stealthiest character imaginable now.
20 attack Zoro build? Ha! No, we're gonna make this the rogue that can just disappear from existence.
Yeah, you don't just disappear from sight; you disappear from the dimension.
Freaking Ezio from Assassin's Creed. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That might be a good use for it. All right. So you start coming around, and as Leviathan, as you start bouncing, you see there's this very thin alley between two buildings, and you start hearing cutting. As you
I
see,
look under the doors. Oh my god, I was right. What?
You were right. It is Stain from
Do I
My
get
Hero
more-
Academia.
Do I get more freaking inspiration?
You do get another use of your DM inspiration because you guessed this well ahead of time. So it's a good thing you used your DM inspiration earlier, because now you have another use of it. And with that, Stain looks over and says, and you see him lick his blade, and he says, "Well, looks like I get to keep playing tonight." And we're gonna roll initiative.
Hello, Phantom of the Opera knockoff. Where do you get your mask from? A freaking theater room closet?
He looks at you very confused, and
Heyo.
Who are you supposed to be? Hold on, let me guess. Jack the Ripper. Grim Reaper. Dracula? Ooh, you're a vampire samurai. I'm just drunk.
And yes, Gengar, please give me the extreme addition to my initiative modifier.
Harangon gets to add their proficiency bonus. Chronergy Wizard gets to add their intelligence. It's 5. If you focus that, you get a 10 from dexterity, and then
If you go Swashbuckler Rogue, you can add your charisma.
Yep, and Gengar just called out Swashbuckler.
and then the alert.
Yeah, and if you're already adding your proficiency, you don't get to use a couple other things, but yeah.
Kind of like on armor defense. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Wait, so where's wait, hold on. So is this My Hero Academia?
It is Stain from My Hero Academia.
Yeah, okay. So, let me guess. Randy Savage. I'm just like you're saying random like crap.
Okay.
Let me
Berg,
guess.
you're going to be up first as you see Leviathan
Spider-Man.
bouncing down the alley and about to enter a door when you suddenly see somebody literally carving somebody up down the alley as he is wielding two swords.
From my locate object, is that direction of
Yes.
the item? Okay. So...
And you probably would have had to cast it one more time to get over here, but yeah, that's fine.
Gotcha. Let me go ahead and get that spell slot out. Ooh, that goes my 3rd level spell slot. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, I never did. Here, let me do a long rest because I never did that from the last time. So I got my spell slots back.
Oh no, new problem.
I know, right? Okay. So that goes to my. Okay, we're good. So saying that it's coming from that, I drop concentration on locate object. Let me read up on something. Let me get the measure tool out. Bow in hand, because he's very far away. Berg, can I like post up over here, ish?
I mean,
or
what do you mean by post up?
Actually, just move over here,
Mm-hmm.
so I can give Leviathan space to move out.
Yeah.
If need be. See this guy covered in blood, probably over a body, probably. Bonus action. Yeah, I want to go ahead and sacrifice my bonus action. This is a 1 target. Go ahead and hit him with a Hunter's Mark.
All right. You use bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark. And yes, Gengar, Leviathan mentioned earlier that if you use Harengon, you can really boost up your initiative as well. So instead of using Changeling, you use Harengon, which is like the rabbit folk. So yes, you use your bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark on Stain. What else are you gonna do?
And okay, so higher doesn't actually do anything for me. Bow out, shoot him, attempt.
Yes.
Leviathan's small, so he's not getting in the way, correct?
He is not.
Okay. So that's
So go ahead and make your attack rolls.
that is a 26 to hit.
A 26 does hit as he's
All right.
mid carving and looking in your direction. Out of nowhere, he sees this arrow and it slams into his shoulder, and he suddenly focuses on you.
Okay, and that will be 12 points. Wait, hold on. What's the second one? Oh yeah, yeah, that's 7. Never mind.
Yeah,
I
7,
forgot that
and
automatically.
and then roll your Hunter's
Pass without
Mark.
trace,
Yeah.
which is Hunter's Mark 1d6. Yeah, I know how to play D&D, guys. Yeah. Hey,
Hey,
I
6.
finally get a good combat roll.
So you
and
deal a total of 13 damage directly to Stain's shoulder.
I will like to ask if I read this correctly.
Wait, Stain.
Weapon attack, though.
Stain beats you.
I know I can't direct hers because I use my bonus action. Can
Yeah.
I still use his reaction, though?
I believe so. And you still have one more attack.
That is true because I get 2 attacks now. That one I'm also going to dump in a 1d6 lightning.
Okay.
On top of that, for his infused strikes because it's a weapon attack, and there's the one
There
on
we
the
go.
damage roll.
Yeah. So you get to add 1 lightning damage to your roll.
God, how many times have I rolled 1 lightning damage so far?
A lot.
Second attack. Right. Second attack. 20.
Hey,
Oh, natural
there's
20.
your second nat 20.
There we go.
We need a third.
Damn, should have.
All right,
should
this
have
is
saved.
our holiday session.
But you get
That's
to add another d6 because you get to add the lightning damage again since you nat 20'd.
Gotcha. So that's 2 double. Okay. Wait, lightning damage.
Yeah, because you're adding the lightning damage from your Drake Warden stuff to your roll, right?
When another creature within 30 feet hits a target with a weapon attack, the Drake confuses the strike.
Oh, you were
It doesn't take strike.
adding it to the previous attack?
to the previous attack.
Oh, okay. There we
because
go.
I had hit already. So yeah,
Then-
that's why I would.
But you
was
still
sad that I
get you
didn't
still
do
get to
that.
roll 2 dice for the hunter's mark because you crit.
Gotcha, Hunter's Mark. I think this is the first time I've actually had to use. I got to use Hunter's Mark. Yeah, another 7 points of damage.
Yeah, so you deal a total of 18 points of damage with your second attack. That's a pretty solid combo.
No.
Gotcha. So I moved. Bonus action. Hers doesn't get a go. So yeah, that will be my turn.
All right. Now it's
Oh, no.
Stain's turn.
But luckily, he should be focused on me because I just hurt him a lot. Hopefully.
He
I mean, yeah, no. If you see a random blue blob, you're not gonna assume it's a person, right?
let's see. No, he tries to jump over you, which he can do without issue, and you can make an opportunity attack if you'd like, because he just tries to vault over you.
Can you grapple people with opportunity attacks?
That's a good question. I think you can
Okay, I grapple him.
on an opportunity attack. You cannot use specialized grapple attack on an opportunity attack, apparently.
Okay, so you can't. Okay, that makes no sense. No, I'm gonna keep. Nah. The only way I can attack him is with a quarterstaff, and that's not much. I feel like that's not worth, him not knowing I exist. So no, I won't make an opportunity attack.
Okay. Then he's gonna start swinging at Berg. What's your AC, Berg?
Since I bow out, it's only 15.
15. All right. Yeah. So
Wait, hold up. Why is my armor class so? I have stud of leather, right? So yeah, it should be a 17. My bad.
Okay.
I don't know why it's only 15.
So you see him slash out at you multiple times, hitting you 3 times.
There you go.
Each one
And
of
this
them.
is 3
Why
separate
does it feel
concentration
guilty?
checks.
This is going to be 3 separate concentration checks, and I wish I had my.
Gotcha.
Wait,
I'll go ahead and roll 3 d20s.
hold on. Is Stain the one who's been killing people? Because Stain has nothing to do with Hot Fuzz.
You're right. He doesn't have anything to do with Hot Fuzz.
This
It's
might
almost
be a
like I
setup
can
for it,
randomly mash together things, or like Hot Fuzz was
Yeah,
a
but
set.
then why would this have anything to do with Hot Fuzz? Because it's just Stain killing people.
It doesn't have to do with it. It doesn't need to. It's not required
So
that
why
there
was
are 2
Hot
dice.
Fuzz the inspiration?
It was a set of. I
Okay.
think it's just because we guessed.
Yeah, just because
who
you
they
guessed
were.
who they were, you got it.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. And let's see. Oh, Pillow King just subscribed, so thank you, Pillow King. All right.
Wait, we can sub now?
No, that it. I still get notifications for my YouTube channel at the same time.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha. Because I've noticed that you hit it over 50, so I was assuming.
yeah, I could if I streamed more on Twitch, if I did
Gotcha.
like enough times per month, but I don't stream that often. I only stream for
I gotcha.
this. So the first attack does 15 damage.
I'm
Why
gonna
does
put
it
this
feel
in.
guilty?
Okay. Second to talk.
Second attack, 21 damage.
Okay, yeah, no, you need to get out of there.
I'm still fine.
Are you sure? Because that's like decent chunk of your health.
And the third attack is another 21 damage.
I'm less alright.
You should
that
move.
should be...
And then
I'll give you a
he
test.
looks at you and licks the blade.
Oh no!
I need you
no.
to make a DC 14 Constitution saving throw.
Oh, that's not that hard actually. Is it?
I would like to burn my inspiration.
You burn your inspiration. Go ahead and roll again as you rolled a 13 on the first one. 14. You just barely managed to hold on.
That is very
You should move, in my opinion.
in tune for Berg. And also, I don't know anything about MHA. So,
Yeah, so anybody
You mix
that...
your blood, you get stuns, and the time changes depending on your blood type.
Yep. So,
yeah.
yeah, they're...
Oh,
Yeah, he's essentially able to... He is able to paralyze you by eating your blood, and in this case, I'm using the spell Hold Person, but instead of a Wisdom save, it is a Con save.
I'm going to DM you real quick, RJ, just in case as a reminder.
And yes, Gengar, Jack of all trades, will add half your proficiency bonus to an initiative check, but it only applies to anything that isn't already benefiting from your proficiency bonus. So if you're getting your proficiency bonus added in any other way, it won't be able to affect it. Looking for the DM. What else?
So can I?
It might, and Berg asked me a question behind the scenes, and the answer is possibly, but
Okay.
I will keep it in mind.
Just wanted to keep. Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, that's the end of his turn. Leviathan, you're up.
Do I have blood?
You have internal essence of some sort, so we'll see how that plays out.
I cast Hold Person on him.
You cast Hold Person. DC what saving throw?
Wisdom.
Wisdom?
DC 15.
DC 15. He passes.
Can I use my DM inspiration to give him disadvantage?
I will allow it. And he fails.
Okay, and I'm gonna move out of here.
All right. He is currently paralyzed.
And bonus action, I would like to wild shape.
All right. Bonus action, you wild shape into what?
Giant elk.
You are now a giant elk. All right.
Who's tipsy?
What size is a giant elk? What size is?
With probably his dump stat. He's not exactly the most dare person. Anyway, I would like you to move for what I have planned. Just shoot it with arrows. It'll be okay.
All right. Giant elks are huge. So
Yeah.
that's what?
Once again, I never fail to be amazed by Leviathan's brain.
Yeah, just wait till you see what I've got planned. I'm gonna use my stomp attack on him. That's 48 damage. 48 plus 4 damage.
All right. I just shrank you
I'm
down
gonna knock
to
him
15 by
prone with
15.
my ram.
Yeah, go ahead and do your attack stuff. Oh, you're gonna back up and do a ram?
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
you already used your action on Hold Person though.
Yeah, I just back up.
Okay.
My ram, he'll automatically fail the saving throw because of Hold Person. Then I can use my Who's attack, which is 48 plus 4. And since he's stunned, that's 8d8 plus 8 on every turn until he gets out of Hold Person.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Do it, right?
Berg, you're up.
Alright, fucking went from 76 to 19 HP.
Oh my god. Dodge action.
Berg will... I got this. Casting ability modifier, which...
You can see that he is currently stunned or paralyzed, or
Gotcha.
whatever Hold Person does.
Is it paralyzed? Is it stunned? Or is it... Oh, he's stunned, so I can just leave.
Yeah. Oh no.
Gotcha.
Hold Person makes him paralyzed for the duration, but it's essentially the same effect.
So paralyzed and stunned, he can't do anything except for try to break out of the paralyzation or stun during his turn.
Yeah.
Correct?
Being paralyzed means he's incapacitated, so he cannot take actions or reactions. He automatically fails any strength or dex saves. Any attack rolls against him have advantage, and any attack that hits the creature, if you're within 5 feet of it, is automatically a critical hit.
Gotcha. As a ranger, specifically one that has been living a life of solitude, would I know that the attack that that if an elk would ram him, would it only hurt him or anything else in the area?
It's pretty sure it's only him.
Yeah, I mean, it would only be him usually if the elk is I mean, being out in the wild, you would assume that elks don't attack as specifically, but you would assume that somebody who is aware is able to tell that they can attack just one person.
Gotcha. Okay, so what I'm going to do, what Burger's going to do, is knowing that won't... Okay, so if I move, I won't get an attack of opportunity against me, correct?
Correct.
Just to verify that?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So Berg's gonna get the fuck out of the way, move about 20 feet back, to where I'm not in. I believe that's the range of the bow. Is it 20 feet? Which is. Oh wait, the range is 150 to 600. So 150 would be. Anything below that would be disadvantage on the attack.
150 to 600. The regular range is up to 150 feet, so that's just a normal attack. Anything
So
between
anything
150,
beyond.
yeah, between 150 and 600 is at disadvantage, and beyond 600 you
Gotcha.
can't do.
Is impossible. Gotcha. Okay. So with that, he'll just move back. Berg will move back around 20 feet. Go ahead and do that. Dump a 3rd level cure wounds into himself with his action.
Okay.
So that's 3d8 plus 3 because that's third. So it's 1d8, and I'm bumping up to 3rd level from 1st level, so it's an additional 2d8.
Yeah.
I believe. So that should be 3d8.
Leviathan, as you see someone move away, I want you to make a wisdom saving throw at advantage.
Oh, what? Okay, now I'm scared.
As you're looking at, like, your vision's still a little blurry from your drinking earlier, and
damn.
you rolled a 17 because you, like, logically you're like, no, I cast it on the bad guy. That one couldn't be moving. And so you can immediately tell.
Oh, so there's a
Berg.
decent chance I could have fought.
Yeah, there's a decent
just trying
chance
to
you would have been
Are you
able.
trying to make us fight?
See,
I mean,
RJ's not able to get the 30-20s that he usually gets against me, so
Yeah.
now he's trying to get my teammate to hurt me instead.
yeah.
So, with
I
that-
mean, I had to play
don't
up that you
know,
were
I-
super hammered. So
That's great. I'm here for it. I'm 100% here for it. With that, that's my action. My bonus action, I'm going to get pass without. Not pass without trace. Hunter's Mark dropped. I did drop it with a 4 instantly.
Mhm.
I think I dropped it with all of them because it's based off of damage, right?
yeah. So the damage is either half damage or you have to beat a 10. It's whichever
Gotcha.
one.
So yeah, my 4 dropped it, so don't have that anymore. I'm not going to waste it. Bonus action, get hers in there, and he's going to grapple. I would say, yeah, move hers in because he's just to get the measurement right. That's exactly 40 feet. He has 40 feet of movement, so I'm going to get hers. Switch places with him essentially, and then uses action to grapple, bite down on him, and like not do damage, obviously, because grapple. Just thematically bite down onto him. Can I get it to where he can move him per se?
You can. You
to
can
be
move.
facing towards the elk. Oh yeah, no, because I'm out of movement at this point.
Yeah, he would have used, and it costs double movement to try and move him, and he automatically
Yeah.
succeeds at the grapple because he's
Yeah, yeah,
paralyzed.
yeah.
But
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm okay with just the grapple. He gets his reaction back. He doesn't get a bonus action, I don't believe. Which I don't think he can really do anything outside of attacking. So yeah, that will be my turn.
all right,
And
so he is currently grappled and held in place, and we're on his turn. He gets to make his check, and he manages to succeed.
Damn it.
He is no longer under the effective hold person, but that does use his action.
And he's still grappled by
And
hers, correct?
He is
But
still
he's
grappled.
not prone. Oh.
But he's not prone?
Yeah, which means I can't use my stomp attack because, like, I was gonna ram him, which makes him hold person, makes him automatically fail. He's gonna go prone. Then I can just use my stomp attack.
Was
If
he
had hold
already
person, he
prone?
would have taken 8d8 damage.
Was he already prone whenever hers grappled onto him?
Let me,
No, I was gonna knock him prone.
Well, let me double check on that because being paralyzed. I mean, I guess you're paralyzed in place in your
While
stand.
in a fighting stance, so it wouldn't really drop. I mean, you could probably still knock him prone with even while being grappled, right? Because like hers isn't gonna get in the way of holding on to him.
Yeah,
while-
okay, that's true. It's just hold person would have like doubled the damage by an insane amount.
Yeah.
That's fair. Oh, because it's automatically a crit at that point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, at least now you still have advantage, at least. And since he's grappled, he doesn't get saves on strength or something like that. Dexterity. I don't know.
He's
He's there.
he's just currently held in place. That's it.
Gotcha. Yeah,
So-
he's there as a safety net. Essentially, what I was going for.
But that uses up his turn because all he was able to do was recover from being held in place by the spell, but not by your Drake. And so we are on Leviathan's turn, who is currently a
Run
giant
over
elk.
and ram it.
You run and ram him.
Hold on. That's frick with the jack. Frick, I need to get the stat open again. 25.
25 will hit. Yeah.
13 damage.
13 damage.
Strength saving throw or you're knocked prone.
Strength.
DC 14.
DC 14
Oh,
strength.
you also take an extra 2d6 because I did the ram.
Oh,
so-
yeah. Go ahead and roll that 2d6. Oh, you already
19
did.
damage.
Got another
You did.
6
And
damage.
will this be considered a weapon? I don't think this would be. Are elk's antlers considered a weapon?
If
This
you're
is a
asking,
melee weapon.
if you're
Undead.
if you're
Yeah.
asking whether or not you can enchant it with lightning damage from your Drake, I will say yes.
That'd be cool as hell.
Is he
So
prone?
yeah, you get an extra d6 on top of that initial strike as well.
All right. Yes. Add another
So with
d6.
that, hold person up.
Yeah.
I love how whenever he empowers other people, it's usually max damage.
Yeah. And with dealing,
I should
well,
invest in something.
so you dealt 13 plus another 2d6, bringing it to 19 with the 6 total, and then adding another 5 lightning damage, bringing it to 24 damage in total as your antlers looked like a giant taser with lightning arcing between the giant spikes, and you just shock the crap out of him and spear him with your antlers, and dealing plenty of damage. Anything else you want to do?
Can I do any? No.
Okay.
Is he prone?
He needs to make a strength save, right?
Yep, DC 14.
And does being grappled impose any type of disadvantage to that? I don't know for certain.
I don't think it does. Let me look
Gotcha.
at grappled. Nope, it does not. It just makes his speed 0.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
And
he
then-
just can't get up.
yeah, and then there's some other random stuff. But he does succeed and is not knocked down. So he is not prone. He is still
You
standing.
know what? I'm just gonna turn back to Leviathan.
All right. So you are now use your bonus action to turn back into Leviathan, and now it is Berg's turn.
Okay. Bow still in hand. Felt a little bit better. He's grappled. Yeah, I'll just take 2 more bow shots at him.
All right.
And this is not, this is straight roll, I would assume. So, the first one is
A
8.
nat 20. There's your third nat 20 of the day. You
Hell
deserve one of
yeah.
these shirts, but they cost me money to send it to you, so I'm not going to do that right away.
You think I wouldn't? Why wouldn't I? So, we established last session, I believe. I want you to confirm this.
Yeah.
That whenever my turn comes back up, hers also, his turn, since it's technically directly after mine, does he get his reaction back?
Yeah, I will say you will. Like as soon as your turn hits, all of his stuff.
Gotcha. So I'll go ahead and dump the 1d6 in there as well. So that's 13 points of damage from the bow, correct? That feels
Yes.
so fucking low. I
That-
mean, I did roll it.
Yeah, that's why druids are the superior species.
You're not wrong. So yeah.
So that's 13 damage from the bow with a crit.
So 2d6, another 9 points of damage
And
for lightning.
then you get to add 2d6 lightning damage thanks to Drake, bringing in another 9.
2d6 because of the crit.
Yeah.
For that, just to clarify. Second attack comes in. Oh, the dichotomy.
Oh, you roll that crit fail, and I want you to roll a D. Roll me a D2.
Does he hit me or your dragon?
No,
I
you're
don't
more
exactly
than.
think that a D2 is on here.
I mean, it just automatically Oh, I will roll a D2, which is really just a flip of a coin.
That's just a coin. I can't do it with integrity on here because yeah.
Oh, it doesn't recognize it. All right, then just roll a D4, and I will take odd or even.
Gotcha.
It's even, which means you're hitting your Drake. You deal 13 points of damage to your Drake.
Well,
As-
he gave me a 1 on lightning damage the first time, so yeah.
So you attempt to shoot Stain, and then your arrow goes a little bit low and hits your own Drake, who is grappling him.
Gotcha.
Does this confuse me again?
Don't give him more fuel for this.
I mean, that's a solid point. I want you to make one more
That is-
Constitution saving throw. Let's see how sober you are mid-fight. Ooh, that's a 9. That's not great. Make a Wisdom saving throw.
Oh.
Oh, no.
All right. And with that, it's Stain's turn. As you crit failed your saving throw, we'll see.
My bonus action to use hers.
Oh, yeah, you still get to use your hers. So go for it.
So while grappled, can I do another attack or no?
You can,
you should
yeah.
be able-
Yeah.
Okay, then hers will begrudgingly, probably, take a bite attack against him
Go for it.
while he is held down. Ugh.
With an 8 on the attack roll, you're not going to be able to chomp through. Hers is too busy trying to hang on in the first place. And now we're at Leviathan, or we're back to Stain's turn. Leviathan managed to crit fail on his wisdom save, so we'll see how that plays in with him being so drunk.
I just think they're both evil. Like, oh my god, he's secretly evil. He teamed up with Stain to try to take out the dragon.
We'll see how it plays out in just a moment. As Stain starts swinging at hers, your Drake. What's the Drake's armor class?
It is. I just had it up literally every time. That would be. Why does it keep going to fucking that? I don't understand. It is a 17.
17. All right.
Yes.
That's going to hit.
Okay.
Oh, just past the threshold, so this is going to be a thing. Stain has a very specific ability that kicks in at certain points that is no longer going to be kicking in.
No. Is that a
Can I have a stat block later? I want to use
Is that a
this.
bad thing?
Yeah, I can send you a stat block later. It's
I am that concerned.
so 12 damage against
Gotcha.
hers on the first attack. Second attack swings, but hers catches it, and you see his offhand goes wide, and you see a short sword fall between hers, your Drake, and you, Berg. So he now has an empty hand.
I don't like
Okay, so usually I roll super well in these sessions, but I just rolled 2 nat 1s in a roll.
Oh, how the turntables.
Yeah. So with the second roll, hers is whipping around kind of like most animals do. So the Drake keeps trying to tug at Stain, and Stain falls prone to the ground.
Oh.
Maybe later. Have
And
another plan.
with that, now it's Leviathan's turn, who did crit fail. Actually, before that happens, Stain's going to use his bonus action and tries to lick the blood of the Drake. I need the Drake to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. He can do that.
It's going to be DC 15, and he manages to succeed. There are different DC. Yeah, yours was a 14. His is a 15. Although, actually, I should have put it a different... Never mind. His is a 13. Yours is a 14, which makes his easier to pass than yours. That's what I wanted.
Okay.
And now it's Leviathan's turn. What are you going to do?
I don't know how this works, but I cast... Hold on, so do I think Berg is evil?
We'll find out. What are you planning on doing?
That heavily influences my decision on what I'm doing.
You're a little twisted around, and your vision is a little like your vision's a little doubled at the moment since you crit failed on your wisdom save, and you think the Drake is Stain and Stain is the Drake.
I cast polymorph on the stain.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Um,
I should have told you no to the polymorph between sessions.
wait, what CR is stain exactly? I need to know what to turn him into.
He is a CR9.
Okay, so we can turn into.
A lot of things.
Oh wait, there isn't really. Yeah, stain becomes. Let's see. Let me think, because because I think that Drake is grappling Stain right now, right?
Yeah.
So Stain becomes a giant scorpion.
Okay. Yeah.
I would assume. Wait, can polymorph? Is that a contested thing against a hostile thing?
It can be.
Wait, would he resist? Because he does not know I'm trying to turn him into a giant scorpion.
Yeah, he doesn't know. What is the CR or the DC save on it?
15. I'm not sure.
Well, it doesn't matter because I rolled another nat 1. Hooray for 3 nat 1s for the DM.
He just becomes a giant scorpion.
The one time we don't want it to be a nat 1.
Yeah. Giant scorpion. Let me look that one up.
And if the Drake dies, can it come back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I just gotta do like.
Oh, a giant scorpion isn't super strong, but it still gets
but
3
it's
attacks.
It's grapple thing.
Yeah.
So
Wait, it drops the grapple.
No, it's good at grappling. That's the point.
yes, like if
So he
giant
was
claw-
trying to help. He was trying to help out hers keep the grapple, but since she was confused, you helped out the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now Stain can just grapple hers with its giant scorpion claws.
Yeah.
With my big meaty claws.
So now Stain, I'm just going to enlarge Stain's icon, but he is a large sized creature and he's a scorpion. Giant scorpion, large beast. Cool. Anything else you want to do?
No.
All right. Then Berg, you see Stain turn into a giant scorpion.
So that's a beast, correct?
Yes.
Dominate beast.
Oh, that's an interesting combo. I never even thought about that. Turn it into a beast and then dominate beast.
I have.
I don't have that. Favorite enemy's useless. Fuck that. Because I do have beasts as that. Well, shit. Can't really do anything about that with that, but that is a cool concept, like you said. Seeing that, I'm like, holy shit, he can turn into a scorpion. Okay. Yeah, just tried and true. Double longbow attack at this point.
All right, go for it. His armor class is suddenly 15. And another nat 20 from you.
I'm sorry, I just loaded the dice today. It kind of happened. So yeah, same thing. First verse, same as second verse, same as the first. Infused strikes. Dumping that into there. 2d6. Looking for it. 2d6. 8. Same fucking thing. Same thing. Same rule.
So you deal a total of 29 damage on the crit, and you still get another attack.
Second attack coming in.
Another nat 20.
Brother. Alright. Another 18 points of damage. Bonus
That's why he's
action.
polymorphed.
So he's still grappled, correct?
Yes, he is still grappled, and he's still polymorphed for the moment.
I had already used my attack, so I'm not going to redact it, but I should have. With that knowledge, I probably would have Hunter's marked him. However, already did the attacks, not going to do that.
Yeah.
Bonus action, you control hers, another bite attack on his end.
Go for it.
Probably going to get a nat 1, just because that's just me. I don't know why, but every time I go into hers thing, it shows up like character mancer crap.
Yeah, I don't know either. And hers got another nat 22.
Brother. And this is with not infused strikes, but this is Magic Fang, extra d6 damage of its draconic essence. So that's another 2d6 for the crit, for another 10 points of damage on his end.
All right.
That is not.
So that's
not
another
rad,
19 damage just from the Drake, as you just obliterated, and he is immediately no longer. He is still prone. You would have had advantage, but it doesn't matter because he already critted like hers has advantage.
Yeah.
And yeah, you immediately took him out of being a giant scorpion.
That sucks because I had temp health. That was essentially temp health at that point, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was mostly, but that was 52 temp health that you just powered through and then some. So.
Oh, so bloodthirst, sweet.
You can do 52 damage.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, that was also
with three
attack.
crits. Yeah.
If you buy a D&D Builds shirt for the This Is How I Roll, you will get at least 6 nat 20s apparently.
Yes.
In
I got
your
some
D&D game.
Yeah, he's.
Shameless plug. I got you.
I appreciate the shameless plug, as Leviathan has a shirt on the way, so I appreciate that too. And let's see, that's a total of 66 damage done to him in one turn.
I think that's all. I am so glad that I didn't use passive. I'm not passive, but yeah, the thing. So yeah, that's action, bonus action. I'm not gonna move. He's still grappled. He's still prone. Oh, since his movement's 0 and he's grappled, he can't get up unless he breaks the grapple. Which I believe, if he's prone, does that give him disadvantage on the grapple athletics checks?
Let me double check. Prone is always weird. Has disadvantage on attack rolls, but that's it.
Gotcha. Okay. Damn.
And its
I
only
mean,
movement option is to crawl.
Oh
Alright.
god. The man's
But
trying
he's
to crawl away
grappled.
from a blue dragon.
So
Yeah, that ends my turn.
yeah, so I guess I will be using my action to try and break the grapple. Go ahead and make a athletics check.
It's
For
every
hers.
time I drop. It's every time I drop his thing, because it's like it takes up so much of the screen.
Yeah.
Athletics check.
Yeah. He manages to break free of the grapple, and then he will use half of his movement to stand up, and he's going to move right here as well. So he's now right next to Leviathan and hers.
So, who do I think he is, though?
Make a wisdom saving throw, and we'll see if you still think that hers is him and vice versa. With that wisdom save, you've kind of snapped back to your senses. You've sobered up most of the way, and you realize Stain is directly in front of you, and you were a little confused earlier, but now you got it. You're like, this is definitely Stain, with a 25 on your wisdom save,
Okay.
which is now your turn.
I cast... I don't actually know. I cast Conjure Elemental
Okay.
and summon a Water Elemental.
All right.
Water Elemental can enter a creature's space and stop there, so I wanted to spawn like where I am.
Okay.
How do I do summons?
Let me bring up the water elemental. You tell me where you want it most of the time.
It's exactly where I am.
Yeah.
Same slot I am. It's large, so it takes up more of the area. But
yeah, I'm
so
just
it would
gonna.
forcibly move you, which would make it to where it doesn't impose opportunity attacks. Correct? Is that what
Yes.
is that what you were going for?
Yeah, it looks like it would force you out of the way, mostly.
no, it says the elemental can enter a creature's space and stop there. So
Let me check. Water form. It can move through us. Oh yeah, you're right. Yep, that's fine.
Oh,
So
so you're
it's-
okay.
And it
And
would be
with my
super hard to
bonus
see you in
action-
there anyways, as you're like a blue plasmoid inside of a big water elemental.
and with my wait, could I turn into a killer whale inside the water elemental and like still survive?
No. Killer whale would be way too big.
How about an orca?
I mean, they're the same thing, right?
I knew that. You know what? Just for preface for the people that's watching, I'm on an hour and a half of sleep after a 16-hour night shift. Please
Yeah.
bear with me.
I'm gonna head over here
All right.
and not do anything.
Okay.
I'm gonna like go over here actually. That way I'm like out of State's way.
All right. Then Berg, you're up.
I think this is the first time he's ever seen a water elemental. He's kind of enraptured. Oh yeah, double longbow attack.
All right.
Dirty
20 will hit. Yep.
I want to. You know what? 2 in the hand's better than one. I mean, 1 in the hand's better than 2 in the bush. Go ahead and use the infused strikes. Add a d6.
So it suddenly shocks him, dealing an additional 3 damage.
Is he wet at this point? Does that do anything?
Yeah, I
There's
mean,
an elemental right there.
yeah, I mean, he's getting a little drenched as swirling water is around him.
Just wondering if that would help the light. Second attack, 16.
16 will miss.
Ooh, okay. Bonus action, hers. Once again, gonna try to grapple, if that's all right. This time it's not gonna be an automatic success, so it's a contested athletics, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Contested athletics. Go.
With that nat 1 on the athletics check, it tries to chomp, but Stain is able to like roll out of the way, and he manages to reach over and pick up his other sword in the process.
And I don't think I can use a bonus action on hers for anything.
Nope.
Or if he even gets a bonus. I think it's just an action and movement.
Yeah.
If you control him. Okay. So yeah, that's my turn.
All right.
Yeah, that's my turn.
Then it is his turn. He sees the swirling water, sees the Drake, sees you, and yeah, he's gonna try and kill the Drake. And
What's the dog doing?
what is the AC of the Drake? 15, right?
It is 17.
17. Yeah, only one attack gets through, dealing 10 damage. And bonus action, I need the Drake to make a DC 14 Constitution save, or DC 13 Constitution saving throw. Gotta remember that everybody's different.
Is the Drake looking good or?
Yeah, he's fine.
Oh, okay, good.
Especially with that con save.
Yeah, and you are not paralyzed. But now it is Leviathan's turn.
Wait, when does the water elemental go? Just one.
I mean, you summoned it into existence already, so now it can probably go after your turn or during your turn every time.
I'm looking at the rules. How would tidal
Water
wave
elemental.
affect the water elemental?
Tidal wave would still hit the water elemental and probably do some damage to it. But it would do half damage, as that would be bludgeoning and...
No, but that's magical, isn't it?
Yes, the elemental has its own turn, by the way.
Oh, yeah. So the elemental we'll just have the elemental go right after you. And we'll allow the elemental to take 2 turns because you summoned it into existence already, and it probably should have gone last turn. So
Yeah, I'll cast, let's see, how much damage is... Hold on, okay. No, can't use Ice Knife. I already have concentration up. I cast Form Whip. And
Okay.
no, he's grappled, so I shouldn't... Wait,
No,
still
he's not grappled.
He is not
I
grappled.
cast Form Whip,
Okay.
and I pull him, and I try, hit him.
Okay. Make the attack roll.
Wait, hold on, actually, can I check something really quickly?
Yeah.
Oh, no, can I use my decanter of endless water on him?
Sure.
Geyser.
Geyser.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot to have a ring now.
What is this?
DC first.
Strength save.
He's succeeding, obviously.
DC 13. Strength save. He does succeed.
Yeah, he takes no damage.
Okay.
Yeah, I should have cast Form Whip. Right, the water elemental.
Gets 2 turns.
He's already grappled, so I don't need to use Whelm. No, he's not grappled.
He is
but
not grappled.
I do just 2 slam attacks. It does 2 slam attacks.
It takes 2 slam attacks per turn, so it can make a total of 4 slam attacks since he's getting 2 turns. An 18 will hit, and a 14 will miss.
That misses.
An 11 will miss. And
26
a 26 will definitely hit. So you get 2 hits,
So that's
which is...
4d8 plus 8.
Yes. In total, it is 48 plus 8.
30.
That is 30 damage. God damn. Alright. So you just keep slamming down. Bah, bah, bah.
That added electric damage be added to that?
I had already used.
Yeah, he already
reaction.
used it.
Whatever, it's fine.
Yeah. So you just see
I'm sorry.
Stain just getting slammed over and over again. And then it's Berg's turn. Stain
right,
is
sorry, I was just
looking
going-
rough, by the way.
That's good.
Let me.
Like,
I'm
he's
trying to
hardly
do
able
this.
to stand.
Do we want to question him, or is he just? Did we just get the vibe that he's just like mindlessly murdering for whatever?
Should we question him? That's your call. Your intelligence is
Oh,
higher.
is it though? It's an 8.
Mine's 8.
I mean,
Mine's also an 8.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. How it is?
What's the
Let's interrogate
wisest?
him.
you
He
can
doesn't
try
have
and say
anything
something
about
to
it.
him now to get any additional insight into his motives, if you'd like.
Nah, he just seems like a fucked up killer.
Yeah, I'll just use his dead body.
Yeah, exactly. Oh god, the ramifications. Yeah, just once again, just fucking gotta try to what's his name? Dude from Lord of the Rings. I'm just gonna try to Boromir him,
All right. Another nat 20.
brother.
How do you want to do it?
So
Okay.
yeah, since I already said Boromir, Berg brings up his bow, sees that he's on his last leg, and whatever leg he's favoring, he's gonna take his first shot and take out that leg, get him on his knee, and then he's gonna rack his second arrow in. See him, he's probably smiling, blood drenched everywhere. He's like, "Oh yeah, fucking love this shit," because it just looks like that kind of psychotic killer. Thinking back to the patrons that was so concerned about the serial killer and being new to this town and everything like that, finally bringing justice to it and actually helping out. Takes a second arrow strike. You see lightning infuse around the arrow as hers is like empowering him through him with their emotional and with their spiritual connection, and he lets loose the arrow and just fucking straight into the where he thinks his heart is, and releases. The lightning just releases throughout his body while he convulses and drops.
So as you bring him to his knees, you shoot the arrow into his chest, and he looks up at you and says, "You adventurers all think you're better than..." And then the shock just explodes, and you see his eyes roll back in his head as his body twitches and he falls.
I'm gonna loot his body.
All right, you loot his body.
Loot or absorb them.
You
Okay, I dispel the elemental. Anyway,
Okay.
I don't want it going on a rampage, so I loot his body and I just eat him. I guess.
I'll go on.
you dispel
Like
the
while eating
elemental.
him, I like look over to the Drake and I'm like, want some?
The,
He had enough eggs this morning.
the Drake looks back at Berg and almost wantingly like, do I get to eat some? Do I?
I'll walk over to hers, pull out the arrow, dump a 3rd level cure wounds into him, and he's like, "You deserve it, buddy."
And then it immediately starts like chowing down on a calf muscle while Leviathan starts devouring the rest of the body.
While that monstrosity shit's happening, I want to go into the alleyway and check on the latest victim
Okay.
and see if there's anything. If they can be stabilized, if they can be saved, if they're just a cadaver at this point, and if they are, then respectfully dress them and respectfully prepare the body.
Yeah, so-
for any type of transportation.
You find a tarp to throw over the body as it is very far gone, and it looked like Stain was trying to leave a message. Leviathan, as you're devouring and absorbing and dissolving this body, you notice that the boots that he is wearing are magical.
I take them.
Okay, as they do not dissolve quite as easily.
I like spit them out before they, anything happens. And hey, what are they?
They are. In addition, I need you to roll a d4 because they're going to be one of 2 different items, and I got odd and even.
Boots of speed or boots of slippers of spider climbing?
What were you suggesting?
The boots of speed or the slippers of spider climbing would be my guess, but boots of speed are a bit.
One of those answers is correct, as you do roll a 2, and even is the slippers of spider climbing. The
I
other,
don't know
the other
how
was going to be the
boots that-
boots of striding and springing.
I'm gonna keep this actually.
All right, so you
I
managed.
can just see rolling up a wall.
Yeah, and it's literally like you as
Can
a
I wear
ball.
shoes?
Well, I mean, you as a ball form, you basically just put a shoe on each side of your ball, and then the ball rolls up the side of a building. So yeah, I could see it. It's fine.
All right.
I can see it being inside of him,
Yeah.
and it's like just the innate magical prowess of it? Because is it kind of like magnetic to the shoe, or is it like your entire body becomes like Spider-Man at that point?
I think your body it's like you can stand straight off a wall. I think.
Like it's a vertical surface.
Yeah.
Not vertical, horizontal surface
Yeah.
essentially. Okay, so you're a gyro.
Yeah. So you do manage to stop Stain. You report it to the town guard, as well as the death of the other adventurer that you have found, and you collect the bounty for the quest, each gaining 100 gold from the city.
Nice.
You have managed to collect the slippers of spider climbing, which we're going to say is more boots just for the sake of fashion, and you have completed your quest for the day.
Alrighty.
So, is there anything you'd like to do before we wrap up for the day?
When we go back, did we go back to the essentially the police station or the guard station?
Yeah.
Or did we go back to the? Okay. Was the duo there the ones that we saw coming in and out?
No, they are not.
Gotcha. Yeah, hers wouldn't. Ryan Berg wouldn't really have any reason to doubt any of them. He just was probably enraptured by the Aasimar and thinking back to his own eyes, and then just once again just shaking his head and continuing on.
As you the memory of that investigator rings in your mind as you make your way back to the Adventurers Hall with an extra 100 gold for each of you, and with a pair of boots floating inside of Leviathan.
Did I use these while wild shaped?
No.
You just see no.
I don't think so. I don't think any wild shaped
Can you
creature
use
can wear
armor.
Yeah, you'd have to have a creature that. Yeah, because usually it like molds into your form. So no, I don't think so.
Damn.
I would say if you can use armor, then I would argue for it, but I don't think you can
Yeah.
while wild shaped.
Unfortunately, not.
Imagine seeing just a fish, or something.
Also, how did Leviathan go 2 sessions now without getting hit once?
Yeah.
Actually, no, you got hit. You got hit there in the Graboids fight, I believe.
Oh no, I didn't. Yeah, no, I got hit once.
Yeah, as the Quetzal, so it didn't really do anything to you.
Yeah. But with
Any
that,
damage I took was technically when I just, I jumped off a build, when I just decided to do damage to myself for, turning into a giant fish.
yeah, I liked the turning into a giant fish from 200 feet up. And with that, that's going to bring us to the end of today's session. I hope you had fun.
Yeah.
It was a good one. I'm happy we got to defeat Stain, and I was especially hoping that a smaller party would take care of this. Otherwise, I would have had to find another way to boost it. And I should note, for the record, that this was using the champion stat block for him, but I just added the ability to cast Hold Person as a bonus action with varying degrees of difficulty based off of the race of your character.
Oh.
And so that's why it was a different one for the Drake than it was for Berg, and then there would have been a even easier difficulty for Leviathan, but we didn't have to worry about that because you never got your blood taken or whatever. But I should note that I used an encounter size calculator for 2 players of level 9, and it said putting you up against one creature that is a CR 8 should be considered practically deadly. But I put you up against a CR 9 and gave him an extra bonus action ability, and you still beat him.
And
To be
one
fair-
of us took no damage. And I was drunk. So.
Yeah.
I
To
didn't
be
take
fair,
damage, and I literally attacked her, him. I literally attacked the Drake at one point, so...
Yeah.
because I have the intentions of buying a official D&D Builds shirt, I got 7 nat 20s this session. I don't know if that's a coincidence or what, but I
It's
think
fate.
that may have something to do with it.
Yeah, it's not like I totally didn't pay you to make those plugs and then therefore promote it by saying that it's somehow enchanting your rolls, or I guess on screen it's this side, enchanting your rolls.
And
But but it actually, no, I don't want to pretend that that was at all a thing. I don't program Roll20. I'm purely saying that I appreciate the plugs, and just for that, I'm giving DM inspiration. Thank you for plugging my merch. I appreciate it.
You know, honestly, I think it's because the last couple sessions about the entirety of how many nat ones I've rolled.
Yeah, I think it was just weighing the scales a little bit.
Making up.
Yeah.
I think I'm fine with
it.
6. What was it? 6 in a row? 1, 2, 3. No, it wasn't. 4. Yeah, 3 in a row. 4, 5. That's.
You did roll something like 6 nat 20s.
Say I've counted at least 6 on my end.
Yeah.
My God.
It was.
Yeah, that.
I always wish everybody 3 nat 20s in their D&D session. You just did it twice. That's all. And it definitely balanced the scales back to where they should be after all the nat 1s you rolled last session. But with that, we're going to end today's session. I hope everybody had fun. I hope everybody rolls 3 nat 20s in their next D&D sessions for anybody that's viewing this. And I will post this on YouTube later. But if you want to watch these live, you can always add notifications for when I do this on Twitch, which I just do because I want to be able to show my thanks to my patrons, and especially my Dungeon Master and God tier level patrons, which Dungeon Master patrons, they get to hang out in one session per month. God tier level patrons get to join every session I do every month. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching all of that stuff. I hope everybody rolls 3 nat 20s in their next D&D sessions. This has been D&D Builds, and play more D&D. It's awesome. See ya.